Timothy, absolute pleasure to have you here. We've
Going
got
on?
another Tongan
Yes, sir.
fellow Tongan Kalani doing big things in the super heavy. And
Yeah.
now we've got a new protege here. What's exciting you about joining Power Slap?
I think kind of like I expressed early in my interview at the camp, um, it's just seeing other Polynesians, honestly. You know, I talked to them about how close, like the UFC is. They're now partnered with, WWE. They got TKO. And so, you see all the wrestling, like the Bloodline and stuff, and all of them up there. And, it's, it's like we got a bloodline down here at Power Slap, and so it's like you see the crazy Hawaiian and his brothers, you know, Makani, Manu, um, and Kalani, so all of them, really just seeing all of them and all the boys from Hawaii,
Mhm.
it's kind of like you just walking into a big old barbecue with everybody. And so I think seeing all of them, even when the thing first started,
Yeah.
it made me excited because it was like seeing my people who look just like me. Just like when I was a
Mhm.
little kid, when I watched wrestling, it was seeing people who look like me that made me, pursue that dream. So now we're here.
For sure. But I got to ask you, there's a lot of polys in that super heavyweight division. Could you actually slap one of them?
Hey man, if it came down to it, and just like them, because I don't think that they would hold back on me. I don't think I'd hold back.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, we all there for a reason. We're all there to feed our families, our kids, and so when we're on the pedestal, I feel like they know just as much as I know that I feel like this game is a eat or be eaten type of game, and then once we get off the pedestal, we can have a beer, have some kava, get some
Mhm.
food, we can hang out and stuff at and all the way up leading up to the camp after the show and stuff, but you know. Just like them, I don't think that they would take it easy on me, just because we're poly. And I think I wouldn't want them to take it easy on me, because it's
Mhm.
something like I feel like us Polynesians take exception to like being tough and being able to like withstand pain and stuff. And I feel like it'll just be like an ego thing with all of us and stuff. but uh, but
For
yeah, at the end
sure.
of the day, I think it's just at the end of the day, it's business. It's okay to be friends and stuff and stuff outside of it. But you know,
Mhm.
they're coming in there to knock my head off my shoulders, and I'm gonna do the same. But like I said, after the thing, then it's all good. We can go drink and we can have fun, and but when we're on that pedestal, we're there for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to me. How long you been wrestling and what type of character do you play?
Shit, I'm me. I'm
All
me.
you?
I don't. That's the good thing about wrestling is like people always talk about characters and stuff, but the best character is just an extension of who you are. It's just who you are turned up to 1,000.
Mm.
And that's really what it is with me. I don't really play a character. I just play myself, but I'm more charismatic. I'm more animated. I'm everything is turned up to 100. I've been
Mhm.
wrestling for about like I think I just hit my fifth or sixth year, so not too long, but
Yeah.
like yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know what? Every poly that I've ever met, big smile, super positive, very thankful for God. I mean, just characterize, a lot of that culture. And I mean, in slap fighting, the fans show up to support the polys. I know you've competed in front of large audiences, small audiences. I'm sure you've been cheered. I'm sure you've been booed. Do you think that experience is going to help you come into Power Slap and perform for the first time, potentially against somebody else who's never performed in front of a live audience?
Yeah, I feel like that gives us the edge. Um, one thing about wrestling, they always tell you before your match, if you're not nervous, you don't. It doesn't matter to you. You don't care. And
Mhm.
so it's it's like that switch. So as soon as you got all the butterflies and stuff before you walk out that curtain, and as soon as you walk out that curtain, you flip into that 100%. 100 times of who you are. And so. Stuff like that. I think it prepares us to not be not too worried about the crowd, but
Mhm.
because we're so used to having a bunch of eyes on us, it's not gonna. I don't feel like it'll affect us. I think if anything, we know how to play to the crowd. We know how to draw emotions from the crowd, and so I think that's gonna give us an edge on being able to feed off the energy,
Mhm.
kind of like Dumpling, when Dumpling took that smack and he turned around and he wilded up and the crowd just fired up right behind him, and I feel like that's
Mhm.
what the crowd, I feel like I really do feel like that's why a lot of the wrestlers are in this upcoming group and stuff is because we know how to interact with the crowd, but not only that it's entertainment at the end of the day, and
For sure.
if you're excited to be there and you pour that energy out, it's gonna make the fans excited to be there, and if the fans are
Mhm.
excited to be there, that's gonna make you even more hyped, for whatever else comes next.
Absolutely. When Sin Bodhi called you, presented the opportunity of slap fighting and power slap to you, one, why did you pick up the call? And two, what was your initial reaction to him?
It's so funny because I had watched the I think it was one of the Power Shop was doing a show and it was on um I think it was on Rumble, where the boys were staying at the house and stuff and they were doing the training and stuff, and Makani was Manu was over there, uh,
Mhm.
um and I remember watching that and I was like, I want to try this. So I actually filled out an application online to do this before Sin Bodhi had even reached out. You
Okay.
I had filled out the stuff online, and they had messaged me back, but nothing had really ever came from it. And so when Simbodi just put like a pretty much like a letter out to the wrestling community, like if you want to do this, if like just email me. And as soon as I seen it, I was like, I was already trying to do it before, like I might this might be my way in.
Mhm.
And so when I hit him up and he got back to me ASAP, and I filled out the application. I sent everything that he needed on my end, and I think it was WrestleMania weekend in Las Vegas. He
Okay.
called me. He called me. He was like, "Hey man, they like your look. They, you know what I'm saying? Like they
Mhm.
want to bring you." And me honestly, like you know, at the end of the day, bro, like I know coming into this, like a lot of people, I feel like you have to know, like I know I'm gonna get knocked out at some point. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like I'm not coming in here with like, oh, I'm not finna get knocked out. I know I'm finna get got. Just like Marshawn Lynch said, I'm gonna get got. I know I'm gonna get got, but I'm gonna get mine before I get got though. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, like I'm coming in knowing that somebody is gonna be bigger and better than me, and somebody
Mhm.
someday is gonna knock me out. But until then, like shit, my chin doesn't run from nobody. And so I'm
Mhm.
ready for it all. And Sin kind of understood that. Um, and that's why when Sin called, the first thing I did was pick up, and I was like, I'm ready for everything. So
Aw Awesome, man. Can you tell me any stories of times in the past in wrestling where you really had your bell rung, that's gonna give you confidence that you're able to do this in power slap?
well, I take a lot of unprotected chair shots to the head. if that counts,
Okay.
I do a lot of hardcore matches, that include like light tubes and stuff like that, and barbed wire and stuff, and you know I feel like taking it's probably not the brightest thing to say, but taking unprotected chair shots is probably worse than uh, um, taking somebody slapping, because you got somebody who is swinging the chair full force at the top of your head. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And some people do block it, but I'm not a bitch. I'm, I'm gonna eat it, But I feel like stuff like that has also, I'm Polynesian. Our parents
Yeah,
got a heavy hand. You know what I'm saying? So
for sure.
they be laying their hands on us, growing up and stuff. And so you know, I feel like that's why a lot of the other Polynesian people is really good at this
Mhm.
too. But I feel like I, man,
Amazing. Yeah.
maybe
What
not
what
last time somebody rung my bell with a chair. So
Awesome, awesome. What are you walking around, weight-wise right now?
I'm at like 430.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
I'm at
So you
430. Before
you
before doing the tryout, I was hovering like around like 450, almost 460, and so now I'm pretty much like 30 pounds down.
okay. Is that intentional? Are you planning to kinda cut down so you compete in power slap, you're closer to that 400 range, or what's your end goal?
Now my I was losing weight because I need to be here a long time for my son.
Mhm.
Besides the sports and everything, my weight is gonna, it's gonna contradict if I have, another 15 years left on this earth or less, So,
Hmm.
trying to get myself to be more healthier, Plus, it just, it works with, the weight class. I'm not gonna be going anywhere near heavyweight. I'm staying,
Yeah, yeah.
So, but it's just,
For sure.
trying to drop my weight so I can be here for a long time for my son.
Yeah. Did you know any of the previous slap athletes? Did you know Makini Manu or the Crazy Hawaiian, Dane, Uncle Micah? Like, have you ever crossed paths with any of them before?
Only Makini, only
Okay.
Makini. Makini, he trained with Knoxville. He was actually doing pro wrestling too. I don't know if you knew that, but
I
he was
did. Yeah.
he was doing pro wrestling, and I had met him, during his pro wrestling stint, and he was over there up in L.A. at Knox Pro with Rikishi and them, And
Yeah.
so after that, he had I don't know what had happened though. He still go back and forth, but after that, he just kind of jumped to the sumo wrestling, and then after
Mhm.
sumo wrestling, he just jumped, to power slap. But I think McKinney is the only one that I only know, from everybody else.
Got you. Did you get to train under Rikishi at all? Did he teach anything in wrestling?
Yeah, man, that's my uncle, man. my
Really? Like
uncle.
blood uncle?
Nah, that's my blood uncle. But
Okay.
I'm like the adopted son to that family. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
tag team and wrestle with all their nephews. Um,
Oh, I lost you. I can't hear you, man. Oh, did you get a call coming in? I can't hear you, dude. Oh, I can't hear you anymore, Juicy. Oh, Juicy, I can't hear you, dude. Oh, can you hear me? I can't hear you. I'm not sure you got a call or something. Cut the audio out. Maybe if you want to log out, log back in. I'll still be here. We'll cut this out. I can't hear you. No. If you want to log out, log back in.
my bad.
Oh,
Technical
I'm back.
difficulties over here.
Oh, yo, we're back.
Yo, yeah, we're back. I'm sorry about that. My bad.
No,
Somebody tried to call me on my phone, so
yeah,
forgive me.
no problem, no problem at all. I was just asking you about training under Rikishi, and I know you said you were like he's a distant uncle to yours. So
Yeah,
tell me what that's been like and what he's taught you.
man, it's really just smartening up, man. And just one thing I learned from him really was sooner or later people are going to tell on themselves. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like kind of just playing the game. Just don't be the loudest person. Always just be humble and just take care of business. Get in and get out. And so just work hard. And that's really it. It's just working hard in anything. And so
Hmm.
learning that from him and just always just also just knowing when to shut up. When when people are talking or you don't always have to rebuttal to what people are saying. Just you got to do
Yeah.
that. So that's something that I learned from him. Was just he was just smartening me up on that game because there's a lot of times where I go back and forth with people on the online, and he's
Hmm.
like, man, you gotta cut that shit out, like smarten up. And so stuff like that don't even bother me no more. To
Hmm.
because and then that's really it. It's just smartening up about the game and even just about life in general.
Hmm. I hear you. You know, I guess can you confirm now that we're gonna see you in Power Slap real soon or what?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm doing my medical and stuff right now. Um, Already pretty much got my flight information. And so I'll be out there in June.
Awesome. Well, what's your aspirations and your motivations? Like, is there a specific reason why you want to join Power Slap? Is it the fame? Is it the thrill? Is it the money? Like, what's really motivating you on the inside?
It's my son. My son's motivating me. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to, like I said, like I told you before, you know what I'm saying? Like before I die, I need to make sure my son is set up, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know how many years I got left on this earth, you know, but I'm grateful, you know, that Power Step has given me this opportunity because now, like being able to set my son up for success, you know, it's a real possibility now, especially through Power
Mhm.
Slap. You know what I'm saying? And so, my motivation is my is my son. You know, is just trying to leave a legacy that he'd be proud of, and also being able to take care of him. And give him things that I never really had. You know, giving him things that my parents couldn't give me. You know, and so um, shout out to my beautiful baby mama. But
Awesome.
my thing is just to my motivation is them two, just trying to take care of him and his mom.
Totally. I mean, yeah, definitely great motivation to have. Talk to me about the story because I heard a rumor that when you hit the power cube at the apex, that you turn the lights out on the place.
Yeah, man. Wow. Nah, man. It was man. It was such a surreal moment. You know what I'm saying? To where like we all just we were all doing our numbers and stuff, and I lined up next to the cube. Just okay, let's go full send, and just and the thing weird about it is like you're all the way up against the wall. You don't really have a lot of space to hit the cube, and so I remember just lining up that shot, and it's just like, all right, I just got a full swing, full send, and as soon as I cocked back and I hit that pad, like I didn't even notice what happened, but I just all I know is I smacked the bag, and it just everything went dark, completely dark, and I was just looking around like, what the hell? And everyone was hyped, and that felt that was to have all my peers, everybody that's a worker, that's a wrestler, to be there and witness that. It felt special to me, and that shit was crazy because that shit had the room rocking. You feel me? So
Absolutely, dude. When all the power came back on, do you remember what that score was?
yeah, it was like 52 something.
Okay, nice.
I, I think probably had this. Somebody had a higher one than me, but I knew I was the second highest on the cube.
Mhm. Awesome, man. I mean, I appreciate you joining me. Look forward to seeing you there in Las Vegas. Best of luck with dropping the weight. Do it safely and all the prep that's going to go into this fight. So take care, my man. Train hard. All the very best.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come on here, share your platform, and just giving me an opportunity to share my face to the Power Slap community. So I just want them to know that I'm coming out here to give my all. You know what I'm saying? And so if you see me knocked out, man, please don't clip it.
Absolutely. Much love, man. You have a home here at Slap News anytime. All right.
Oh man, thank you, brother.
Take care.